If you finish cancer treatment months ago and you're still exhausted, and I mean not just tired, but bone deep, nothing helps, exhausted, and your oncologist has told you your results look fine, this video is for you because the fatigue that lingers after cancer treatment is one of the most common and one of the most dismissed experiences in survivorship. And the reason it's not getting better isn't because there's something wrong with you, it's because nobody's explained what's actually causing it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Melissa Merchant. I'm a certified integrative cancer coach, a cancer survivor, and I've worked with over 600 women navigating cancer treatment and recovery. I'm also a former litigation lawyer, which means I ask a lot of questions and I don't accept it's just something you manage as an answer. Here's the thing that most people don't understand about cancer-related fatigue. It's not the same as normal tiredness. It doesn't respond to rest the way normal tiredness does. You could sleep 8 hours and wake up feeling like you haven't slept at all. You can do nothing all day and still feel completely depleted, drained by 3 p.m. That's because cancer-related fatigue isn't caused by what you did yesterday. It's caused by what's happening in your body's internal environment right now. Think of it this way. Bear with me because this is a little weird, but think of your body like a fish tank. Okay? And during treatment, the water in that tank went through an enormous amount. Chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, maybe, and the chronic stress of diagnosis and uncertainty, which is huge. And all of those affect the internal environment, the inflammation levels, the immune system, the hormonal balance, the nervous system's ability to regulate itself. And when treatment ends, that water didn't automatically clear up. The tank has been through something significant and it needs time and the right conditions to recover. And rest alone doesn't restore the tank water quality. It just keeps the fish alive while the water stays murky. That's what's happening when women finish treatment and still feel exhausted. It's not a lack of willpower. It isn't because they're not trying hard enough to recover. It's because the internal environment, the terrain, hasn't had what it actually needs to restore itself. And research supports this. Studies on cancer-related fatigue consistently identify inflammation, disrupted immune regulation, hormonal changes, and nervous system dysregulation as the underlying mechanisms. A review in 2019 in the journal Cancer found that persistent fatigue after treatment was associated with elevated inflammatory markers in a significant proportion of survivors, independent of depression or sleep disturbance. And this matters because it changes what helps. Most women I talk to have tried a variety of the same things, right? They rest more, they push through when they can, they try to exercise because they've been told exercise helps, and then they crash afterwards and feel worse and wonder if they did something wrong. They take the supplements, sometimes a lot of them, without a clear picture of what they're targeting. They adjust their diet in ways that feel random because nobody's given them a framework. And none of this is working reliably because none of it affects or addresses the terrain necessarily. Resting more keeps the fish alive, but doesn't clean the water. Exercise is genuinely useful, and I'll talk about how in a moment, but the wrong kind at the wrong intensity actually increases inflammatory load, which can make the fatigue worse in the short term. And supplements without context are expensive guesswork. The gap isn't effort, the gap is understanding. So, what does help? Here are the 4 areas that research most consistently points to for managing and improving cancer-related fatigue. The first is blood sugar regulation. One of the least discussed contributors to post-treatment fatigue is blood sugar instability. When blood sugar spikes and then drops, energy becomes unpredictable. That mid-morning crash, the heavy fog after lunch, the desperate need for something sweet at 3 p.m. How many of you have been there? I certainly have. And this isn't a willpower problem, it's a metabolic one. After cancer treatment, many women experience some degree of insulin resistance. Fancy, fancy words for the body just becomes less efficient, less good at managing glucose, often the direct result of chemotherapy, steroid use during treatment, and the disrupted sleep and chronic stress that goes along with a cancer journey. Supporting blood sugar stability through how you eat, protein and healthy fat at every meal, reducing refined carbohydrates, not going long periods without eating can make a real meaningful difference to energy within days, not weeks. And the second is sleep quality. This is different than sleep quantity because you can be in bed for 8 hours and not be getting restorative sleep if your sleep architecture, if you will, has been disrupted, which is really common after cancer treatment. Supporting sleep quality means working on the conditions around sleep, the cortisol pattern through the day, the light exposure, the evening wind down routine, what you eat in the hours before bed. And really small shifts here compound quickly. And the third is gentle but consistent movement. And I know this feels counterintuitive when you're exhausted, right? But the research is clear. Gentle, consistent movement is one of the most effective interventions for cancer-related fatigue. The key word is gentle. I'm not talking about running a marathon. I'm not talking about doing the aerobics class that you used to be able to do with no problem. I'm not talking about training. I'm not talking about pushing through. I mean, consistent, low intensity movement, particularly walking. It supports mitochondrial function. It reduces inflammatory markers. It supports nervous system regulation in ways that rest alone cannot. The target is not a workout. It's a 10-minute walk every day. And then building from there as capacity returns. And the fourth is anti-inflammatory nutrition. So important. And this doesn't mean a strict elimination diet. It means consistently moving your eating pattern in an anti-inflammatory direction. More oily fish, leafy greens, colorful vegetables, olive oil, berries, and yeah, fewer ultra processed foods and refined sugars. It doesn't mean you can't have a treat every once in a while, but targeting inflammation has two sides. Yeah, limiting the stuff that causes inflammation, the cakes, the cookies, the sodas, the candy. But more importantly, adding in the anti-inflammatory foods, the oily fish, the leafy green, the colorful vegetables, the olive oils, the avocados, the berries. Research on dietary patterns and cancer-related fatigue suggests that an anti-inflammatory eating pattern is associated with lower levels of the inflammatory markers most closely linked to that persistent fatigue that we all want to get rid of. If you want a practical, structured starting point for moving your eating in this direction without overhauling everything at once, I put together a free resource called the 7-Day Anti-Inflammatory Reset. It's designed specifically for women navigating cancer recovery. 7 days, simple, evidence-informed, and built around what your body can actually manage right now. The link is in the description below. It's free, and it's genuinely a useful place to start. And if you'd like to talk through what a personalized recovery plan could look like for you, for your specific situation, your history, your symptoms, your life, know I offer a free Cancer Thriving assessment. It's a 60-minute call. We look at the whole picture together, and that link is in the description as well. If this was useful, please subscribe. I post videos for women navigating cancer recovery every week on fatigue, on hormone therapy, fear of recurrence, nutrition, and everything in between. There's a lot more here that I think you'll find helpful. I'll see you in the next one.